Welcome to my first video. This will be an introduction to RStudio and is one of 15 microlearning videos. These microlearning videos are meant to be short and engaging, so they will be approximately 5 minutes in length. To begin, you'll need to have R downloaded and RStudio downloaded to your computer. Please see my channel description on how to download and install these applications on your computer. Before I get started in the script, I'll just briefly go over what these different windows are in an RStudio. In the top left, this is the source editor. This is where you'll write and save your R scripts. It will show the code, file, data views, and other documents, and this is where you'll spend most of the time writing code. On the bottom left, this is the console, and this is where R execute commands and displays outputs. You can type commands directly into this window, but they won't be saved. You'll also see results, messages, warnings, and errors down here as well. In the top right, this is the environment, and this will show all objects that you currently have loaded, such as data frames, variables, or functions. And then finally, on the bottom right, this is where the files, plots, and packages are. You can browse your project folders here. Plots will be displayed that you run as your script, such as bar plots, scatter plots, etc. You can also manage installed packages, and there's also a help tab as well. A few more things before I get started. If you look at the very first line, I've used 2 of the number symbols here, and this is where you can annotate without actual code running. So anytime you see the number sign, this is where I'll be putting any notations for the script itself. If you look at the package line here on line 10, this is in black, and this is an actual code that would run. So to begin, these are packages that I'll be using that I use to run my scripts. So before you run any libraries, which I'll describe below, you want to have these packages installed. There's a brief description of each package below, followed by the number sign. I already have these packages installed, but you can go ahead and pause the video and install these packages. So generally, these packages will get you started to import and export Excel files for data cleaning, visualization, and advanced statistical modeling. To start, this line of code is optional. What this does is clear everything from your workspace. It will clear variables, data frames, and functions that you were using in the current R session. However, another option is just to restart your R session and start fresh. To run a line of code, you can highlight and click the Run button. Throughout, I'll show you various options for running code. As I said, I already have these packages installed. Each time you start an R session, you have to load your libraries. And libraries are specialized tools to work with your data during your current session. So I'm going to highlight all of these libraries and click Run. And as you can see on the console, it's importing all of the required tools. Now there's 2 options when you want to start a new project. I have created a project specifically for this microlearning series. So what you can do if you want is if you do File, New Project, your project will show up in the bottom right over here. I already started the project, and as you can see, I have the Introductory to RStudio script here and my larger LMM series project here. And these are each of the scripts. So the next, for example, next week, I'll be showing data cleaning basics. You can see here are the Excel files that I'll be working with throughout this series. However, if you don't want to start a project, you can simply create a working directory. And here's the line of code for that. Set WD and then parentheses. This would be where your file path or your breadcrumb trail would go. Be sure to use quotation marks, as you can see here. And if you copy from your file explorer, pay attention to the slash. You might have to change the direction depending on what type of computer you have. And this will lead to the project folder on your computer, and this will be where any of your Excel files that you want to import are. As I said, I have already created a project folder here. So what I'm going to do is import these 2 Excel files. I have the read Excel function here, and this is what we have loaded into the library. One important thing to point out is that R is very specific. You want to make sure you use single quotations when you're importing files and double quotations up here, as you can see when you type in your file directory. The read Excel uses an underscore. There's many functions that you can include, but this is the one that I use. On the left, this TR and the MR, to the left of the arrow, this is what I'm calling my data frames. And once I import them, you'll see them over here in the environment. These are the actual Excel file names. Also, don't forget to include the .xlsx. So I'm going to highlight these two files. I'm going to run my script. As you can see down here in the console, it's showing you what is happening. And if we look to the right in the environment, both Excel files have been imported. This is where I'm going to stop today, but we'll pick up next week with data cleaning basics, and I'll show you how to make sure that your data frames and your files were imported correctly. Thank you.